13 in the fourth. What really sparked that turnaround?
Some tough, gritty defense. We started to claw our way back there, and then really efficient execution offensively. Felt like obviously a 33-point fourth quarter, and felt like we played our best half-court basketball in that fourth, and so really got to what we needed to, got the spacing to attack certain guys, and then helps when you make shots and free throws as well. But really the grittiness on the defensive end to start to make it tough, and a lot of the 50-50 balls and offensive rebounds they got, we kind of cleaned up.
Late in the Memphis game, it looked like y'all were struggling a little bit when Jalen got trapped and doubled late in the game. It looked like with about 5 minutes left that was starting to happen again, and then you figured it out, you called the timeout. What changed down the stretch with you all being able to handle those better?
Spacing and him improving in that area, not getting hung up. Other than the one kind of in front of our bench, the late turnover, he really handled it well. The bigs didn't overroll it. I think Steven and Alpi found the pocket well, and then he was just stronger with the ball. And we had our spacing, went to flat spacing more so than to take that third defender out of it, and kind of made him pay there. Still could have been a little bit better, but the fact that you don't turn it over and find some scoring opportunities out of it. We had a lob out of that. Alpi got one turnover, one lob, but I think our execution in that area specifically was good as well.
Is there anything you're seeing from him, Jalen, now that you might not have seen over like a hot month last season? Is there anything particularly in terms of his on-court development you're seeing?
I love his defensive effort. It goes it's probably underrated for him is that he's taking the challenge with Bane and Morant and those guys. They're trying to put him in actions, and he's holding up really well there, taking pride in that. So obviously the scoring stands out. I think I saw he matched his career high or whatever, but taking care of the ball as well. He had the late turnover, but other than that, he coughed those up a few times last year. So getting more used to teams going after him. Obviously, when you're scoring at that clip, they're going to come after you at some point. But he loved to be a facilitator out of there and get the numbers behind it. So all he has to do is deliver the ball.
What does it say about your team's growth that you guys are winning so many of these games down the stretch where maybe you wouldn't have won them last year?
Yeah, we improved in that area. I think halfway or a third through the season last year, we had improved in that area as well. So our road record was a point of emphasis going into the year, and then winning close games that we had kind of given away. And so one of our better ones of the year for sure, to be down 13 and kind of claw our way back in the way we did it was impressive.
Have you learned anything about this team the last couple of games? Beating Memphis twice, kind of different games where you hold on over there, you had to come back today. Did you learn anything about this group?
Our group?
Yeah.
Nothing that I didn't know based on last year is that we're going to always fight and stay in the game. And the thing that I said to the team about a week or so ago was you see a bunch of 140-point games in the NBA and blowout, 20-point wins or losses or whatever it is, and that seems to never happen to us in a bad way, a negative way, that we're always in either close games, that where we're hanging around, or other than I think OKC and then Boston got away from us this year. You kind of pinpoint those two games, and that we're always going to stay around, keep it tough, and I think obviously rely on our defense and things of that nature. But that's what we said, and then guys don't really go off for big numbers. We've had a few this year, but you see a ton of 40-point games, high 40s, and we kind of contain guys there. So learned that we're very competitive and can hang around the game when the shots aren't falling, and when they fall tonight, we score 120.
You'll be at the halfway point when this trip is over. You're second in the West right now. What's the ceiling of this team? Can this team win a championship this year?
We can improve vastly still, and that's the good part about it. When you look at, our 12 losses, you could cut that right in half, based on some last, fourth quarter things that happened early in the year, some of the bad losses to Charlotte and Portland and some of the teams, San Antonio, and the teams that we felt we should have taken care of business against. And so now we've done really well against the lower record teams and played well against the good teams for the most part. And so I think it's all building blocks, and the confidence continues to grow. But the thing about us as a staff and our team is that we know we can get so much better. And that's why we're excited about where we're at and where we can get to.
How important was it for the rest of the team to be able to feed off of Jalen's energy? Even when he was being, double teamed, he was able to get the ball out of the double team to get it to Alpi, and then it seems like Alpi was running the offense from there, running the 1-2 game with our men.
Yeah, he carried us. Quite frankly, throughout the whole first half, offensively, we weren't really guarding up to our level. I think they had 57.5 or 60 to 57. So we were scoring enough, but weren't defending, and a big part was him kind of keeping us afloat. I think he had 20 plus in the first half, and then kind of duplicated that in the second half. But while they were going after him. He still beat the double teams. He didn't force it in other than the one late turnover. Handled that pretty well. But, just like Alpi is at times, drawing double teams, and Jalen does the same thing. It opens everything up for everybody else. And from there, it's just make the right read or take the shot. And I think it was all based on his aggressiveness and his scoring punch when we were really struggling.
How much of his level of play tonight do you think was due to the matchup of going against John Morant?
I think, he didn't initially start on him, but when they do try to bring you in an action, you got to have that sense of pride about, holding up and not being the weak link. And so on that end, obviously he was pretty good overall, I'd say. And then he's in attack mode on the other end as well to make Morant and certain guys work. Some favorable matchups that we like. Then they bring the big up, Edie and those guys that he can really attack. And so a lot of good things there and a lot of personnel that they have that we feel he could take advantage of, and he did.
How much do you think the ball movement contributed to some of that half-court execution that you were talking about?
Yeah, that's what it was, especially late. Like I said, other than the turnover on the lob for Alpi and the Jalen trap, really picked it apart well there. And so credit to Jalen and the guys that are scoring that you have to, they have to go after and open everything up for everybody. And so to your guys' point earlier, the fact that he was scoring at that clip really opened up the game for everybody else besides the stops and transition we got.
What's the explanation that you got on that inbounds violation thing in the first half?
I don't think he saw Cam tip it back to him. And because Cam barely tipped it back to him, he tipped it again. And so he missed both of them, basically. He tipped it twice. And he apologized at halftime, said he saw it. But I don't know if he was running the other way or whatever, but it was pretty clear to us that Cam tipped the ball to him.
It's not challengeable?
No.
It's the second game in a row that Fred had a big shot against these guys late in the game, despite not having a lot of shots in the minutes that preceded it. How valuable is that skill, even if you're not in rhythm, so to speak, to still be able to, step up when needed?
Yeah, I think he's been playing well within himself. If he's not scoring, he's facilitating. And like as I'm in, and Jalen and Alpi are all improving that area, he can pick his spots. And so more so than the shots, it's making the right read every time. He hit Alpi in the pocket a ton in the stretch, and then it's good to be the recipient at times, to be able to take that shot and not have to work all game to facilitate or create your own. And so with Amin and Jalen handling a lot more and finding him, playing out of double teams, he's going to be a recipient of those. And so always confident in him. He's hit quite a few of those in his time here already in a year and a half. And so another big one on the record for him.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.